Okay. Okay. I'm Roger McDewitt, and I'm a trustee of Cancer Testing South. I'm one of the original trustees. We formed the charity about, so I think it's about 7 years ago now, and things are going very well. But like most other charities, we are in need of volunteers. Certain areas we don't have too much problem. In the clinical area, we don't have too much problem because there's often people retiring, etc. But it's all of the other tasks that need doing in a charity that we find a bit of a challenge. What do we do? Um, Starting with a shocking fact, really, every 45 minutes in the UK, a man dies of prostate cancer. We're all seeing the uptake in awareness recently through various famous people that have been brave enough to come forward and tell us their story. And so this is why we got involved. And the reason we got involved is that the national scheme at the moment doesn't kick in until 50 years old. It's worked through the GPs, and basically there are quite a few GPs out there that still really are not up to speed with the latest things and still consider the PSA test, which we use, simple blood test, to be not that accurate. But with all the scans and everything these days, we know I've got an argument for every problem they put up, so it's not a problem there. But we fill that gap. We don't substitute it, and we actually do say to people, if you have any symptoms, you must be going to your doctor. But if you can't make it, you can come along on a Saturday morning if we're doing an event. So what we do, we hold events throughout, mainly through Surrey, but into Hampshire, West Sussex, and as far as Berkshire. And we're actually going over to Croydon very soon to do a specific event for Afro Caribbean because they're twice at risk as our um, white colleagues. So, we really do need to concentrate on that. We're actually going to spend a weekend over there and really try and concentrate on that. So, the areas in which we need some help really are, I will, no, I'll say I'll try and work my way through my PowerPoint without boring you too much with it, if I can get it to work, of course. But let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, okay, right. Why does it always scroll down when you don't want it to? Right, okay. So why would you want to consider volunteering? Well, to be honest, we're actually a very friendly, very nice team to be part of, and that's something that everyone does say they really enjoy being part of our team. Um, the probably one of the first thing I would say, events administration is probably our first need, and that is basically someone with computer skills that's able to work a simple booking system, really, but is prepared to be able to sit down on a Saturday morning in particular, usually something from 9 till 3. And they're the first face of the charity, really. They're the first face that men see when they come to an event. Walk to the registration desk, book in, having booked online, so it's actually a pre-booked service anyway. They come to the desk, and the admin then asks their date of birth, name, etc., because obviously we have to go through clinical procedures and data protection and so forth. Um, the information is then passed back to the man with information about his test and what to do afterwards, and then he's passed over to one of our phlebotomists to have the test taken. So the admin area really, as I say, needs somebody with basic computer skills and liking people. I mean, you've got to be able to sit there and talk nicely to people about sometimes something they're very nervous. Some men, it's usually the big 7 foot guys that are really scared of the blood test, and everyone, the whole team are really very supportive. So that's the team. Plus, also in admin, there are background jobs as well. Um, Often, very men will actually be ringing up or emailing in saying, "I can't make Saturday now. Could you transfer me to the 15th or the 19th or whatever?" Again, that's something that someone can do from home. At the moment, our secretary is tending to try and cover everything, so that's quite a big need that we do need filling. So, if there was someone, particularly someone who really I won't say housebound, but exactly would like to work preferably from home. They can do that. Expenses are paid throughout all of our charity. We are 100% volunteers. None of us at all get paid. And so the next team is the clinical team, and that's the blood testing side, the phlebotomists. We attract quite easily retired nurses and so forth, and retired phlebotomists, but we do also train ourselves now, and we do it at a very much discounted rate. And the team, anyone joining our team, gets a chance to get a certification at the first levels of phlebotomy, which is puts them in good stead really. If they go for an NHS job or something or other, they've got that extra step up when they go for that. And we do find people very keen and really interested in doing this job. That's something I can personally do, and I'm really in awe of the way in which our teams deal with men, nervous men, two ladies or a guy and a lady working together, making the guy feel calm while the other one takes the blood. That's marvellous. So that side of it, we are always looking for people, but at the same time, that's probably the easiest area in which we find to get volunteers. Going beyond that, we are, let's see. Oh, yeah, events planning. That's myself and Helen, who's supposed to be doing secretarial work, but actually ends up working on the events team with me, again, because there aren't enough of us. The events team covers everything from social media right the way through to actually planning the event, dealing with the golf clubs or clubs. We tend to go wherever men gather in numbers. This is what we try to do. Sometimes in village halls, sometimes things we set up ourselves, sometimes by invitation, sometimes by companies. And so that's why there's quite a lot of work to be involved in. Also, we have to make visits for risk assessments and so forth. But it's a very interesting area in which to work, and we do actually get to work with quite interesting groups of people. And we do work quite close with a couple of other charities, which I do recommend to any other charities out there. Do start cooperating with others, because it helps an awful lot. You can share people sometimes and skills. So the event side of it really, just make sure I don't miss anything there. As I say, we do encourage car sharing a lot actually within the charity. So because we do find people out there that really think they can't do volunteering because they can't get around. But because we're spread quite well across the county, we actually can share quite easily and get people even quite long. And we're soon doing an event in Dorking. And we got somebody I spoke to, a Ukrainian young lady who wants to get involved, and she's quite happy to be picked up and taken to an event in 2 weeks' time down to Dorking. And so usually most events are around about 9 till 3. That side of it is really quite interesting, but it's something we do need quite a bit of help with, to be honest. I'm going to move this down. Right. Something our biggest need is a treasurer. I mean, I think most charities say that. I mean, that's something our treasurer left us a little while ago. I'm not being rude when I say that our treasurer at the moment is purely an honorary treasurer. She can add up, but she admits that's as far as mathematical skills go. But we did take on a full-time paid bookkeeper. That's one thing, we do put that out now. So really, it entails the work within the charity that the a treasurer is expected to do. So basically putting stuff together, passing it to the bookkeeper, and then doing the things like the reports back to trustees and so forth, the usual things. But it's something that's really, really desperately needed at the moment. We would work very closely. To start with, that person would be on a sort of probational period, but would eventually, because the role does dictate it, they would become a treasurer of the charity, a trustee of the charity rather, at some stage. So that's something we're really keen, but it's a really good one. If someone wants to improve their CV, if they're in sort of accountancy and so forth, it's a very good way of improving your CV and using it to your, because that's what volunteering is about. It's not just about giving, it's also about getting back through a team. It's about sharing. It's about everything else like that. So something else that really is interesting and really needed is our mentorship side. We, in a way, I say a mother bunny, and I'm a bit old-fashioned in saying that it could be a daddy bunny, really. But we need somebody, for example, when we train new clinicians, new phlebotomists, we lose them sometimes because they can't make 2 or 3 events. Then they think their levels have gone down. They don't like to come back. And we very frequently find that we haven't got back to them and just said, we missed you for the last couple of occasions. Do come back. We'll oversee you, make sure you're fine, and off we go again. And when we do it, it works. But at the moment, that's something, again, that we find difficult. So we need someone that will do outreach, that will do perhaps a little bit of, working, building up a good atmosphere within the team where we're a friendship team, making sure that if someone's got a complaint, they don't run away, that they do bring the complaint to somebody. So someone in that sort of mentorship, so giving help and advice, gaining advice from the rest of the charity, and then being able to share that. but also to be able to sort of encourage people and probably also the fundraising side. They could work very closely with the events team again there. So we're getting there. Right. Support role. This is really something I think is always undervalued. We just need the guy or girl to turn up on a Saturday morning sometimes, put the computers on the desk, lay desks out, because tables out, because once you've done it a few times, you know roughly what's going to be needed when we get there. It's lovely. In fact, it'd be lovely if someone could go to the store sometimes in the morning, pick up things we need for that event. So that sort of general, a very rude term would be general dog's body, and I mean that politely, because it's a really, really valuable role. I mean, sometimes it means somebody doing the car park or whatever. We just need someone occasionally to say, can you do this? Could you do that, please? We try to say please, but we do forget sometimes. But that is an important role, and it's something we really want to do. But something I want to really stress is the fact that the importance of volunteering. I mean, as I said before, it's really not just about um, the charity. It's about, developing your own skills, sharing those skills, building your own CVs, doing whatever you like to do using those things. But um, it's really good for you. I mean, it's been proved and been, beyond doubt that volunteering is incredibly good for you. Um, the one other thing that's really needed within the organisation is also networking, and that includes their educational and research. As part of our remit, we are supposed to be looking at all of the latest developments and then passing those on to people. I have very little time, or most of us have very little time to actually do this and bring it on board. And most charities or most publications allow us to actually pass on that information as long as we, give them benefit that was their article or whatever. People like Prostate Cancer UK, which, we use their stuff a great deal. They're happy for us to share things. So that's another area. So anyone interested in doing a bit of research into clinical matters and then passing that stuff back so we can use it on social media, that we can use it on our leaflets, whatever we're doing and working. And in conclusion, really, I say volunteering enriches your life. It builds personal growth. And whether you choose roles in administration, event planning, outreach, or mentorship, there's little doubt that if you get involved in the work of cancer testing cells, you will save lives. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So there's an exciting thing to it, and we do share it when we find or we get an email from a guy or from a family saying, you saved my husband, or you saved our family's dad. It is that's the best thing. I mean, that's just the best thing we can get. So on that basis, I'd like to sort of wind up there, but just to say, do visit our website. It's cancertestingsouth.org. Do visit the website. You'll find there most of the events that we've got coming up are posted on a regular basis and continue to be posted. And as I say, we are saving lives, and you'd be part of a really wonderful team. And there's a place for everybody. Okay.